Girl, if you believe in love, why won't you believe in me?
Hey everybody, G-Bags from Our City Radio. And today we have a Portland artist. This is Tyler Stenson.
Hello.
And he's going to be on the Americana channel. And he's taking some time today, and we're just going to let you guys learn a little bit about him and sit down and have a little fireside chat.
Cool.
All right?
Sounds good.
So who is Tyler Stenson? Explain to these folks a little bit about your upbringing and when you first started playing and what's going on.
Well, I grew up playing sports my entire life. Wrestled since 4 years old and played contact football since the third grade, I think as early as you can. And I pretty much went up through the school system, an athlete through and through year round. And my senior year, I should also say my mom always had me singing around the house. So although sports was my passion, my mom was kind of injecting her passion all along.
What songs, as a kid, would you be singing to?
In the house, it was more like Broadway plays and choral music, choirs. There was some singer-songwriters like James Taylor and Dan Fogelberg around,
very familiar, sure.
But I'm kind of coming to understand it was a bit more like Broadway choral music influenced, and so I grew up listening to that and singing in the church choir with her and stuff like that. And then my senior year, when football and wrestling season had ended and I decided not to do track, my mom pretty much said, all right, I would like you to take voice lessons for me. So, kind of get a hobby, basically.
So nothing up until 18. You had never had voice lessons or anything like that?
Correct, yeah.
Very interesting.
So my senior year of high school, my mom kind of, for her, requested that I do voice lessons, and okay, but don't tell anyone.
I don't want my friends to know I'm taking voice lessons, Mom.
Kind of. Until I started doing it, and I realized this is fun. If you look at me, I'm not going to go pro in football, or there's no.
Not now. You're not.
Yeah.
That's done. That's a memory now.
I'm training as we speak for the NFL. But it was timely because I realized I loved it and that I was better at it than all the above, and it's been my passion ever since, and I really haven't looked back.
You start to get the bug.
Oh yeah.
You start singing. When did the instrument come in? When did the playing?
So my senior year, I just after about the same time, I was an outdoor school counselor for the Westland School District.
For the sixth graders, isn't it?
Yeah, I was
exactly.
a senior, and I went and I was the counselor, kind of a community outreach type thing or whatever. But you, as a senior, you could be a counselor, and it was at outdoor school. Right as I started these voice lessons, I credit Ken Costa, the science teacher at the middle school. He played a guitar around the campfire, and I vividly remember saying, "That's cool. I want to do that." And so taking voice lessons, it's not like I was going to be in a choir or anything like that. So I kind of viewed being able to sing was pointless without a vehicle to accompany yourself. And so right at the end of senior year, after seeing Mr. Costa playing at the campfire, and I was like, I'm taking voice. It just kind of wrote itself.
Sure.
And I sang my first solo senior year at the prom court assembly.
That was going to be one of my questions. Tell us about that. Tell us about that. That must have been a rush, though, because I remember going to those assemblies.
It was. Again, nobody knew I sang, really.
So you just, came out.
I kind of just came out of the closet with my musical career. Senior year, I was on prom court, and each member of the court was invited to do a talent if they wanted to demonstrate one, and I was secretly taking the voice lessons, and so I surprised.
What do you remember most vividly about that first show?
Most vividly, it was my first rodeo, so it's just nerves. My guitar playing wasn't up to speed, so my mom accompanied me, and I remember saying, like hit it, mom.
Really?
As a joke, like kind of tongue in cheek a little bit. But I remember saying hit it, mom, and then I sang. Bob Dylan wrote it, but Garth Brooks. It was popular at the time. To Make You Feel My Love.
Oh, sure.
It was on the Hope Float soundtrack,
Sure.
which was circa 1999.
Sure.
So it was a popular song, and so I sang "To Make You Feel My Love" at prom court assembly my senior year, and that was
That's a lot of fans.
the beginning.
There were a
yeah,
lot of people in the stands.
probably my most packed show ever.
We're going to go back to that prom
Yeah.
night.
I need to.
So, your mom, how instrumental in backing? Sounds like she's always been a big fan of you.
Oh yeah, I'm coming to find out it's in our blood, and it's been generations after generations. I guess our family was one of the pioneers. They carried a piano in their covered wagon
From back east,
from
they're
back
out
east.
here.
Yeah, so
Wouldn't it be cool to have that piano?
it would be so cool. I have my grandpa's harmonica. But it would be so cool to have that piano. But just stuff like that, I'm
Yeah.
coming to understand. It's if you look at my current cousins, there's a few musicians, or everybody sings, but there are a few who are doing well with it, and it's just I've been doing it since zero, or -9 months. I'm sure my mom was singing to me, you know. So it's
Why don't we do this? Without any further delay, would you like to play a song for us today?
sure I can do that.
Absolutely. What's the name of the song, and what's the background on it?
I've decided to play The Arsonist.
The Arsonist.
The
all right.
Arsonist, and
We've not heard this, folks. This is all live. So.
it is I witnessed a friend go through this scenario, and so this is actually one of the first non-autobiographical songs. This is kind of a third party. It's as if I'm within it, within the situation, but it's actually about, I won't name names, but I've witnessed this happen to somebody, and it's.
How long when did you write this one?
I wrote this in late 2011.
Good. Why don't you go ahead and play it for us?
Well, I was tired of always tasting all that dust you were kicking. 'Cause I just never liked how it looked upon my white skin. Oh, I swear and I would testify that you just love the runaround. Baby, why build a bridge if you just gonna burn it down? To the velvet of your gown, chain me not to your brows, set me free, but may your answers long leave you bound. Baby, why build a bridge if you just gonna burn it down? There are reasons to believe I am enough anymore, and that the arsonist in you is just a cold heart trying to get warm. So while you're building fires that burn like hell, hallelujah, I've been lost and found. Baby, why build a bridge if you just go burn it down? So bind me not to the velvet of your gown, chain me not to your grounds, set me free, but may your answers long leave you bound. Baby, why build a bridge if you just go burn it down? Now little bit by little bit by nerve, it's starting to turn, but it won't be long now till I'm the one that lights that bridges burning. It'll light up like that orange western sky on the 4th of July, or like a comet tail that finally found its stride. 'Cause I've been a pawn for way too long now. I'm a proud traitor to your crown. Baby, So bind me not to the velvet of your gown, chain me not to your ground, set me free. Oh, but may your answers long leave you bound. Well, baby, why build a bridge if you're just gonna burn it down? Baby, why build a bridge if you're just gonna burn it down?
Really good piece of work.
Appreciate it.
Your influences. I heard some influences. There are a lot of guys maybe back in the 60s and 70s kind of just sitting around the coffee shop playing with their friends. So who were some of the people, artists, that were influential to you?
My biggest influences are James Taylor, Simon and Garfunkel, Counting Crows are absolutely my favorite band of all time, and Adam Duritz is one of the, if not the best writer there is.
We're giving you cred there, dude. You're getting cred.
I've gotten to tell him to his face. Luckily, like that was a moment for me where I got to tell him that. James Taylor, Counting Crows, a newer guy named Josh Ritter.
Heard of him?
Yeah, he kind of I was starting to do this. It used to be like pop rock, and then I started to tap into my Wyoming roots and do a bit more of a folk rock, Bob Dylan-y thing, and then I found Josh Ritter, and it just snapped me into focus of like, that is what I didn't know I was going for, but was going for. And so James Taylor, Counting Crows, and Josh Ritter are probably my biggest.
So if you're driving around in your car and you got a CD in, who would we be listening to? Who do you?
I don't listen to a lot of music, actually. I do all my writing in the car, and so typically silence in my car. But I was listening to Josh Ritter on the way over here.
So that's your meditative thing. When you get in your car is when you can really do a lot of your work? Really?
Yeah, I don't sit down and write a song.
Yeah.
I don't sit down and you go, hey. I don't sit down and hash out a song. I pretty typically come up with a guitar. I sit in my room and kind of play the guitar, and when I come up with something that is remotely unique or a melody pops in my head, I'll play it through, and I'm pretty good at just remembering that melody and rhythm.
Sure.
And then I do all my writing away from the guitar. While I'm driving, I'll just hum that melody, and I have an entire process where
And it works.
I just mumble. So that song, I used to play it live, and only knowing the line, "Why build a bridge if you're going to burn it down?" Everything else was ad-libbed mumbles. But I find that the more you,
really?
time ye side, doing the comb right down it, like,
sure.
But I kept saying, "Find me a knot, do the boom, chain knot." Like, I kept ending the lines like that, and so it was a matter of finding the words that were those vowels, because I found that regardless of how much gibberish you mumble, patterns start to show up.
Right.
And I keep doing the same things at the same time, no matter how random I try to make it.
Right.
And to me, that's the song saying, I'd feel really comfortable if you used the O sound, because there are times you write words and then try to force them into guitar, and you're singing odd vowels over certain moments. And so I let the song come to me over months and months and months and months.
See, this is interesting. Every artist does it differently. Some write it on matchbooks. Some do this. They've always got a tablet. But the way you're describing it is completely unique to you and how you do it.
I feel like it's the best way for the song to occur naturally and almost tell me what it wants to be. So I think my music is it sounds comfortable.
Yeah.
Because it was written comfortably. I didn't write these words and cram them into this guitar structure. It was a guitar structure that I've crafted words as freely as I want to make them sound as natural as possible, and so it's pretty much all done in the car.
Before the earth began its curve, got a sight. And I leaned to the wind